Hi, I'm Vanessa. I married my beloved boy after a lot of trouble. We loved each other to death. The first years of our marriage were very good. Everything was so sweet. But a few years later, we clearly felt the lack of child in our life. We knew we couldn't have a child, but we didn't know which of us had the problem. At first, we didn't want to know. We kept saying to ourselves that our love is enough for having a romantic life. What do we want from a child to do? But we were actually fooling ourselves, both me and him, because we both love children. One day, David sat in front of me and said, "What will you do if I have a problem?" I was shocked. I didn't think that he doubts my love. I told him so quickly, "I'm ready to draw a black line on everything because of you." David, who felt free, took a deep breath, got up from the table and went. But this time, I asked, "What about you, David?" He said, "Me?" I said, "Yeah, what will you do if I have a problem?" He turned and stared into my eyes and said, "Do you doubt my love?" He didn't give me the opportunity to answer and said, "I won't change your existence with anything." He felt free with a smile on my face that I was sure he still loved me. I said, "Then let's go to the lab tomorrow." He said, "I agree, let's go tomorrow." And he went. But I don't know why, I had butterflies in my stomach. What if it was really my problem? I kept myself busy not to have the time to think about these words anymore. We went to the lab in the morning as scheduled, both me and him. We both did the test and they said the results will be ready in another week. 1 week lasted as long as 100 years for us. Anxiety could be easily seen in our faces. However, we reassured each other that the result of the test wouldn't matter to any of us. Finally, that day came. I was curious and also scared. David went to work as usual and I had to get the results myself. My hands were shivering. I entered the laboratory. David was tired when he came home, but he was curious. He asked, "Did you get the results?" I burst into crying. He realized that I have the problem, but I don't know if the change in his face was due to sadness or happiness. Days passed and David was getting colder and colder day by day. Until one day, when I was impatient with his behavior, I asked him, "What's wrong with you, David? Why are you doing like this?" He said angrily, "I want to have a child. What is my guilt? I can't live without a child in a house." I was shocked and my eyes were full of tears. I said, "But you told me that you love me in every way. You said you were ready to live without a child for me. What happened?" He said, "Yes, I said, but I made a mistake. I see now that I can't." I didn't want to continue the discussion. I was looking for privacy to cry, and I chose the room. David and I didn't talk until David took me a summons and said, "I want to divorce or get married. I can't pay the expense of 2 people together, so you live for yourself, I live for myself." My heart was broken. I couldn't believe that someone who had pleased me with his beautiful words for a lifetime turned his back on everything now. I couldn't stand it anymore. I put on my clothes and took my bag. The result of the test was still in my pocket. I took it out, wrote a letter, and put both of them next to the pot. I took the summons and left the house. I wrote, "Dear David, hello. I hope you stand your ground and divorce me, because if you don't do this, I will divorce. You know that I can. The court gives me the right to divorce a man who can't have a child. When I got the result of the test and saw that you have the problem, it was so unimportant to me that I was ready to tear the result there. But I don't know why. I wanted you to prove your love once again. And I said to myself, let me see what he will do and what is his reaction if he thinks that I have the problem. And now, here we are. I am waiting for you in the court. You are finished for me. I realized that your love wasn't a true love, and I deserve a true man with a true love in my life. I'm over you, David. Goodbye forever." Several times after that, David told me that he regretted deeply. But I couldn't trust him anymore because he wasn't a loyal man to me, and I was over him forever.